guys, welcome back to my channel. So we're just going to jump straight into the video today. So as you can see, I have a nice plain face, and if you wonder why my hair looks like this, it's because I had my awards the previous night and it stayed in when I went to bed. So jumping straight in then, I'm taking the Nivea post-shave balm, aftershave balm, and I'm going to be using that as my primer today, and I'm just popping that onto my face and rubbing it in, making sure it is even coverage all over. And then I've already done my eyebrows because it takes me ages, so I've done them off camera. So I've popped my eyebrows on, and then I'm taking the Urban Decay Naked Concealer and just popping that onto my eyelids just to prime my eyes ready for eyeshadow. Then to set that down, I'm taking the RCMA No Colour Powder and using my Real Techniques setting brush, popping that on top as well. Then for eyeshadow today, I'm taking the Zoeva Basic Moment palette. This is the new palette out. As you can see, it has a lot of natural shades. Then I'm just taking the shade by here. I can't remember the name, so I will pop the name of it in the description box below. I'm just taking that on a Spectrum blending brush, and I'm just popping that into the into the crease as my transition colour. After we've done that, I'm going to go back into the palette and just taking this shade by here, just slightly a bit darker than the shade we used previously. And again, I'm just going right on top of that and popping that into the crease. I really wanted the eyes to be quite natural today, so it does look like there's nothing on my eyes, but I can assure you there is. Then we're going to be jumping back into the palette once more, and I'm taking this kind of like shimmery shade. Normally I would use like a Fix Plus to kind of make this pop, but I just wanted a kind of natural glow rather than a like full-on shimmer. So I'm just taking that on a flat like paddle brush, and I'm just popping that onto my eyelid. Then I'm going into the palette and taking this dark brown, and I'm just using that on a eyeliner brush. I think I'm using by here. I think that's an eyeliner brush, and I'm just smudging that colour onto my like top lash line where I would normally put eyeliner. I'm just smudging this on just to add a little tiny bit of darkness, nothing too major. After we've done that, I'm taking this eyeliner. This is by Rodial, I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, and I'm just using that to tightline my eyes just to add a little bit of darkness and a little bit more depth to my eye, because obviously I'm not using full-on liquid eyeliner or gel eyeliner, just popping a little bit of pencil to add a bit more darkness. Then I'm going to be taking the L'Oreal Volum Millions So Couture Mascara. I think that's what it's called. They have such long names. And I'm just giving my lashes a good old coating. I kind of went out of focus by here. I was focusing on the actual like product rather than my eyes, but you all can see what I'm trying to do. I am just applying that to my lashes, giving it a good old coating, because we're not going in with any type of falsies stay or anything, just mascara. So now we're going to move on to the face, and I'm taking a mixture of the EX1 Cosmetics Invisiwear foundation and the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation. I will list the shade names that I am in the description box as well. I'm just mixing those together and using a little brush just to kind of mix it up and apply it to my face. The reason I mix these two foundations is because I like the finish of both of them, but the Milani one is currently too light for me, and the EX one is just a tad too dark for me on its own. So by mixing them together, I get this perfect skin tone shade, and the foundations work really well together. The Milani one is a little bit thicker, and the EX one is kind of a bit more like skin, hence the Invisiwear name. But when you mix them together, it gives a really nice finish, and that is currently what I've been doing for a while. You will see a difference in lighting right about now. That is because I did adjust the camera settings, because it just looked like I was glowing, because the light when I filmed this video was just ridiculous, and the sun was going in and out of the clouds, and it was just ruining it. So now I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit and the Body Shop Oils of Life Face Oil, and I'm just going to be dropping a few drops of the oil into the darker shade of the palette, and then using a stupid little brush that I should use a bigger brush, I'm just going to be drawing some lines and dots and stuff onto my face, so onto my like cheekbones, the forehead, down my nose, and a little bit under the chin. And then I'm just going to be taking my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, and I'm just going to be using that to blend the cream contour out. The reason that I used a bit of face oil dropped into the cream contour is because a a lot of cream contour kits can dry out, and then when you try and like spread it onto the face and then blend, it can be a nightmare. So I didn't actually have any of the other like elixirs that you see a lot of people mix in. That is the only type of face oil that I had, but it worked well, it did the job, it done what I needed it to do, and I really liked the finish. I don't cream contour all that often, I don't really do a lot of contouring anyway, but I really fancied it for this video. I just thought I'd dig the old Anastasia palette out and give it a whirl again. So you can just see me blending it all in, and then after that I'm going to be taking the same concealer that we used earlier to prep the eyes, and I'm just going to be using this as my highlight and then highlighting all the areas of my face. So I'm concealing all of the dark circles under my eyes, then highlighting like down my nose, my forehead, my chin, and the sides of my face, and then again taking my Real Techniques blending sponge. I'm just popping that onto my face, blending it all out, making sure that everything is blended to perfection. There's no harsh lines or anything anyway, because I just hate it. I hate harsh lines. I want my contour and my highlight to kind of blend smoothly, so you can still see the contour and the highlight, but obviously that it wasn't noticeable, if that makes sense. Then I'm going in with the Jaclyn Hill and Becca Champagne Pop Skin Illuminator thing. I can't remember the name of it. Isn't that awful? I can't even remember the name of the product I'm using. But I'm just taking that on my sponge again and just applying that high points of my face that I would normally highlight. So my cheekbones, my nose, my cupid's bow, all that jazz. Then to set everything down, I'm taking the RCMA No Colour Powder once more on the same Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm just dotting that all over the face, mainly under my eyes because that's the areas that crease the most. Then to set the rest of my foundation down, I'm taking the Collection Pressed Powder in Translucent. I'm taking that again on a Real Techniques face brush and just dabbing that all over the rest of my face. So for bronzer, I'm taking the Barry M, I think it's Afterglow, is the light bronzer. There's two, you can get Afterglow and Deep Glow, I think this is Afterglow is the light one. It is a shimmer bronzer as well, so I did want a nice glowy look with this makeup, so that is why I opted for this bronzer over a matte bronzer. I'm just taking that on an angled Morphe brush and just applying that to add some bronzeness, to add some nice bronziness to the face. Then for blush, I'm taking the Benefit Havana blush. The reason I picked this is because it is a sheeny blush, so when you pop it onto the cheeks, it just gives you that like highlighted like sheen on your cheeks instead of just a matte colour. That is what I wanted. This look was really like glowy and bronzy. That is what I was aiming for. So for highlight then, I'm taking the Gerard Cosmetics Star Powder, is that what it's called? I can't remember what it's called. And I can't remember the exact shade this one is. I think this is AUDREY, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm just popping that onto my brow bone, the inner corner of my eyes. I'm also popping it on the tip of my nose and down the bridge of my nose for a bit of nose highlight, onto my cupid's bow, and then using a fan brush, I'm just dusting that on my cheekbones, just to give it that intense, like highlighted glow. And that is basically it for the face. We are kind of done with the face. So after that, I just go back in and I start to finish off my eyes. So I just take a mixture of the two browns that we use for our transition colours earlier, the light brown and the deeper brown. I'm just using this on a little pencil brush, and I'm just dusting that across my lower lash line just to smoke it out a little bit. And then I am going back in with the same mascara that we used earlier, and just coating my bottom lashes, giving them a good old coat because my bottom lashes are quite sparse, so I wanted them to look quite dramatic. So I did go over a few times just to darken it all up. Then, after we've done the mascara on our lower lashes, we are going to move on to lips. So this is the Body Shop Matte Liquid Lip. I don't know what it's called, and I think this is in the shade Windsor Rose. I don't know how I feel about this yet. It felt a bit moussey to me. It didn't dry down like perfectly matte, so I did opt to go in with a lip gloss, and I go in with a Colourpop lip gloss. It is part of a collection that I had. It's the Ultra Glossy Lip, and it is like a metallic lip gloss. Again, I can't think of the name of it. It will be listed down below. I'm just popping that on top, and I think this worked really well with the look because it was a nice glowy metallic lip gloss, so it just went perfectly well with the whole bronzy glowy look that I was aiming for. Then to set that all down, I'm taking the Gerard Cosmetics Stay All Day Spray in Peach and spraying in my face. And that's basically it, guys. This is the finished look, all complete, nice and natural, but still a bit glowy and bronzy for summer. Perfect for everyday wear as well. So I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. It would help me out a lot. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
Sipping on red wine, I've been sitting here for ages, ripping out the pages, holding you tightly, just can't let